Good evening, everybody. This is going to be really. I'm looking. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm like it's coming to the end, and I'm getting a little bit giddy about the whole thing. Welcome along to the latest episode of Saving Grace: A Garden of Lies, campaign 2 in our Romancing the Dungeon offshoot. If you've been following along, you'll know that we've had a split the party. We've actually had a lot of split the party moments in campaign 2, but uh, in our penultimate episode, we are dealing with two very different events. 2 weeks ago, we saw Grace come face to face with a ghost from her past, and the bloody repercussions that entailed. Tonight, we pick up with Shuyet and Xander, both hell bent on a mission of their own. Before that, though, I'm going to do some quick introductions. We're going to do a bit of a recap. We're going to tell you about some of our friends, and then we're possibly going to have, for the second session in a row, some PvP. Possibly, maybe. Who
Woo!
knows? Who knows? Who knows? We've all got murder on our mind. Um, I'm Declan. I'm one of the game masters around the D8 dungeon parts. I'm the constant DM, but there's a few others that kind of pop up every now and again. But you are very welcome to D8 Dungeon. We are a group of tabletop role playing gamers from predominantly from Ireland, but with players and friends all over the world. We love telling stories. We love sharing them with people, and if that's having a laugh, having a cry, uh, doesn't matter as long as we're all part of the narrative. Um, this is our gothic horror inspired game. So if body horror, supernatural, all things gory, all things psychological horror aren't really your cup of tea, then I would recommend any of the other D&D streams that are up and running. I think the Emerald Collective are live tonight, and I do think the gang over at Heart of Our Tales are running. There's also some of our other stuff available over on YouTube. You can catch our multi-award winning podcast series, Romancing the Dungeon, over there. You can catch all of our charity streams for more wholesome, lovable content over on our the D8 Dungeon YouTube channel. You can pop over to our Discord server where there is currently there's a very hidden murderous category. We're playing a play-by-post sci-fi horror game, um, and I'm butchering my way through IT code and making anyone that does IT wince at at the lingo I'm using. But it sounds spacey and it sounds sci-fi and it sounds techy, so it'll do. Um,
We're all
so
having a wonderful time.
it's wonderful in space.
Love it.
I'm. It's been very. It's. I have to say, it's been very clean. Like in terms of my,
There's so much goo.
there's goo in one place. Like that's just there. But everything else is fine. I've dropped the link to our Discord server in the chat if you want to pop over. And I'm just gonna very quickly mention that things are well underway for D8 Dungeon Drive 2025, our annual weekend long TTRPG fundraiser. This year, we are doubling the amount of games because we're partnering with the gang down in Australia, Hexes and Vexes. So we are aiming to run 48 hours straight of a D8 dungeon drive. So we're going to play for 12, and then we're going to hand over to our friends down under. They're going to play for 12, and then they hand back to us. Uh, we have sent out the first batch of kind of game master acceptance emails. There is some phenomenal people who have signed up this year, and it was very difficult trying to get kind of figure out what's going to work. But we've all that's in hand. There'll be more information on those games and how you can get involved over on the Discord server. So if you want to play TTRPGs and you want to help raise money for a great cause like Project Hope, then the Discord server is one of the best places to find out earlier than where we post on social media. So spaces at the tables are always limited to kind of 3 to 6 maximum. So um, we're going to be looking for people to play and to help raise money. So check out the Discord server when you get a chance. Okay, that's it for me. Before Soph before they give us a recap of the last couple of sessions, Emma is going to tell us about some friends of ours.
Yes, we are very happy that we are sponsored by Mystery Dice Goblin. They are a UK-based D&D accessory store, so everything that you need, so from DM screens to dice towers, and most importantly, their mystery dice bags, which Declan is a little bit too fond of, I think. So it's exactly what it says on the tin. You order a bag, you don't know what dice you're going to get. It's pretty cool. They have some awesome stuff in there. And if you use the code D8, you get 15% off your order, and a portion of that comes back to us here at D8, so we can use it for artists and music and having the best setup that we can have. So yeah, they're pretty cool. Go to Mystery Dice Goblin and order your next D&D stuff.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks. And Soph, do you want to? Oh,
Yep. Good night. Yep.
Do you want to let us know what happened recently?
So, overall, we're in a very spooky house. All of us have kind of come to the Blackmoor Estate for various reasons. Some more, I guess, nefarious than others. But all very personal journeys. Since it's just Xander and Chouette here tonight, Xander has a bit of an issue going on. Bit of a bloodthirsty curse that he's wanting to try and rectify after accidentally killing his fiancée. So he's there to try and cure himself. Meanwhile, Chouette, a man of magic and intrigue with ley lines and anything related to the arcane, is trying to, I think, deepen his understanding and of all of that jazz. Last session, we've been making our way through the house. People were fighting a banshee. Wasn't really aware of this until the end because I was busy trapped in the wall with a corpse filling up with water. But we got out of there, and Chouette's been collecting some keys to try for Julian Blackmoor, the kind of man of the house, to try and get access to the manor's vaults to kind of learn the dark secrets that lie beyond those doors. I made a deal with the Grey Lady, the infamous Grey Lady, to try and cure myself. And what she wants from me is to stop Chouette. So that's my current goal. So we're having a bit of a Tom and Jerry chase here, I think, tonight. See where these keys end up.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry. That's a great way to describe it. Very quickly before we pick up the session, I want to mention, because we haven't in a little while, the artwork for Saving Grace. So you can see the art for Byron, Grace, and our Pale Nancy on screen. All of the artwork was from Barladera, absolutely phenomenal artist. That we've worked. I do that all the time as well. We've worked with them on the art for season 1, and we were delighted that they were able to continue and do some amazing portrait commissions of our PCs. So thanks so much. Make sure you check out the link in chat to find out more about them when commissions are open and how you can get in touch if you are looking to commission art for your own games or characters. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah.
We've also, just in case anybody is watching kind of going, oh, PvP, this is something that we have discussed, one, as a cast at the very, very start of the campaign. Mm-hmm. And very briefly then, just now, Stoph did ask, are we okay if we have to kill each other? And both are okay with it. We'll see what comes of it. Anyway, we're going to start with Chouette. As you turn and you move from the abandoned hallway, mm-hmm. The 2 keys that you have acquired kind of firmly in your grip, you can hear the others prattling on about moving down the corridor and finding out what's in the room beyond, and that Grace woman is arguing with her dead husband or whatever the whole situation is, how much that has kind of bothered, or how much that has Chouette been kind of engaging with?
Not so much. No. Like he finds them useful. They have useful skills that get him to where he needs to go, but not really bogged down in the details of their personal lives.
And again, it is that same thing of it's almost I won't even say white noise. It's just like static. Like you have the ability to pick out the pieces of things that you need to pay attention to. None of this concerns you because you've been promised by Julian Blackmore the first, the original owner, the founder of the Blackmore estate, that if you bring these 2 keys to him, he will give you the third, and together you will open the vault. And that is where everything that you seek is. And your feet are already carrying you as you move away from the abandoned hallway into kind of through the doorway, and you find yourself in the library. This You had heard all the commotion, you had heard the destruction beyond. None of that is evident. The library is fully intact, but it feels smaller. The space itself, it feels as if all the walls, these boundaries, have encroached, and you don't quite remember everything being this close. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 16.
It's the thing of you noticed it's distinct. This has changed. This is different. But so much about this house doesn't make sense. So much about this house seems to adapt, mutate, reset itself, rebuild itself. And there is a moment where you can kind of compare it to some of the things that you can do, Shitley, in your own abilities to change, your own abilities to become something else. And as you sort of shimmy through kind of that cluster of chairs and the long couch and that coffee table that's set in the middle of the library, you can hear softly behind you footsteps. They're not chasing, they're not rushing, but you can hear footsteps behind you. And then a wall of books just at the shelf, all the books come flying off of it straight towards you. I need you to make a dex saving throw at advantage.
With advantage?
Yeah.
It's 21 on the first one and 12 on the second one.
What was on the second one?
12.
And that was your highest?
No, 21 was
21. Sorry. For some reason I heard 7, and I was like, 7 or 12. I was like, you manage to sort of throw, like, it's that thing of just making yourself smaller. And again, books, tomes, scrolls, just sheets of paper, some ornaments all come flying off as if literally flung straight towards you. They crash into the sofa, they crash against the wall. Some of the books are splayed open. And in this moment, Xander, you hear this sound. And as you step through, you just see Chouette sort of ducking out of the way, kind of half squatting, half kind of throwing themselves forward, using kind of the back of the couch, that long sort of high wooden back as cover.
Okay. I want to follow him for a bit and see what I can see. I'm gonna step off to the side, just into the shadows, and kind of let them coalesce around me. and I'm going to go invisible.
Okay. Yeah, you again, Shiet, as you kind of pick yourself up and you kind of look over your shoulder, where you heard those footsteps, there's nobody there.
Okay. He's a little spooked by the flying books, but he's gonna try have a look and see if there's any kind of like theme amongst the books that were thrown out, like if all of them were like "you're going to die now" or anything like that.
Like, give me an investigation check.
12.
No, there's no like bloody message of get out or you're going to die here. They're all random books and like scrolls and bits and pieces. They just seem to be like various collections of work, poetry, books about the world, books about nature, books about magic. Just kind of, again, like you would have seen in kind of any kind of study, that
Okay.
sort of collection.
All right. After investigating that, he is going to just see if he can hear or see anything from the footsteps. Hello?
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch. Does Shret like look frightened or look surprised that he's being,
Not
they
really.
could be being followed or?
No, a lot worse has happened. So
Fair.
Yeah.
And does he
You're welcome.
seem? Does he seem like he's trying to like make haste? That he's in like a rush, or does he seem relatively calm still?
More like a calm, brisk walk.
Okay.
Like determined, but not like frantic. So he's going to try leave the library and continue on his way to where he was going.
I shall follow. Declan, would I make less noise trying to clamber over these books on the floor, or would I make less noise trying to crawl on the ceiling?
That I think that might be my favorite question I've ever been asked.
You're so welcome.
And I think somebody needs to clip that for me. Because I genuinely was. I
am pleased.
I think if you, it's one of two things. If you move over the books and kind of the scattered kind of junk and bits and pieces, you're gonna have to make a stealth roll. No, that'll be an advantage anyway.
Mhm.
If you're going to climb over the wall, like kind of up the wall over the roof, you don't have to make any stealth roll, but it will take longer because you're going to have to go up, over, and down.
That's fine. I'll stalk over the ceiling.
Okay. She get nothing. Like as you are sort of like as you call out and you kind of wait for a response because there was you know that Grace, Xander, and Thane are in the room beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But the footsteps have stopped. And then the books happen, and now it's all just, it is eerily calm. Like it's as if the house itself is holding its breath. Because you can hear the walls groan. And you can kind of feel the floorboards under your feet just sort of strain in the way that the chest strains when it holds a breath. Or at least mine does because I'm asthmatic.
I'm not laughing at you, Rasmus.
Disadvantage on your next roll.
He's starting to get a little unnerved. He's not really showing it, but he just wants to just get to where he's going. So he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit now.
As you, so you're just going to beeline for the kind of the door and kind of the way out. You move here, and in that, like as you move out of the library, it is into that sort of again, I'm not from money, and the word kind of it's an upstairs hallway with sort of it's an open plan. Like it's like a landing, but you can look down into the floor below, and there's a staircase up.
Yeah.
So you're on like the second floor of the house, looking down into like the ground floor. You can see kind of adjacent rooms. It's where you would have seen those two young men sort of, and again, and as you step out, you see them. You see them kind of spill out of a room, and they embrace, and they again, and it's quite passionate as they kind of hide under the stairwell, and then you just hear a woman shrieking a name as this young woman kind of comes barreling outwards, and then as you sort of step out into the hallway, and you see this clearly, all three of them are looking straight up at you. Before this seemed to just play out like it was an event, like it was an echo or a memory of something. Now again, you heard it as you kind of emerged, but as you come out into the hallway, you see that the three of them, it's two men and a woman, are looking up at you.
Hello.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, not 20 plus 7.
Oh, nice.
In this, as you call out to them, you just see all three of them, their eyes blacken and their mouths open, and there is just this wailing sound out of them, and you can clearly just hear, "Don't open the vault." And then just this wave of energy kind of rushes straight towards you, and you feel it. You can kind of feel it trembling. It's magic, but it's tainted, and you are able to sort of just hold fast against it. They vanish.
He's going to shiver a little bit, and he's kind of upset that he couldn't get to ask them why. But yeah, he's kind of made a commitment to himself. So again, just going to keep trying to steam ahead, try blinker his eyes a little bit, and just get to where he's going.
Again, if you're following the exact path, in that you are going to go kind of straight up. You kind of come out of the left hand side, and you move around the edge of the balcony, and there's that door, and you find yourself staring. Kind of, you're in the kitchen, and you can just hear the whimpering of a young woman. Please, I didn't take it. It wasn't me. I don't know where the locket is. I didn't do it. And then you hear just a wet thwack, and then screaming and crying as you make your way through the kitchen. I wouldn't go in there if I was you.
Why not?
She's still a little upset with you and what you did, though I have to say I did rather enjoy your handiwork.
Is there another way to go?
Could be.
Are you going to tell me?
What's in it for me? I don't really see the benefit of helping you at this point. You're trapped here like the rest of us, and some of them really don't want to let you open the vault.
Yeah, I just somebody just said that to me. Why would that be?
Perhaps they're afraid of what it might mean if you get your hands on whatever it is that's down there.
I'm not gonna hurt them.
You feel a cold breath on your neck, Shuyet. And then there's a very dull but pronounced pressure, kind of just under your Adam's apple, just kind of slightly, not pushing to the point to like cause you to struggle to breathe or anything like that, and you can feel a presence behind you.
He whips around like super fast.
When you do, standing there at that long table, holding that rather horrid cleaver, you see Julian Blackmore II.
Julian,
Yes.
can you guide me to the lake?
I very much could do that. But again, I have to ask, what's in it for me? After all, you open that vault and I could be gone tomorrow.
Well, what do you want?
I want to go with you.
Why?
Hedge my bets. I might not have the forewith that my grandfather had, but I reckon whatever's about to happen, change is coming, and I think I'm better off in capable hands. Just consider me hitching a ride.
Are you going to kill me?
Won't do much with a dead horse, can I?
I'm not a horse.
It's a metaphor. I figured
Oh, with the ride. Yeah, oh, okay, I understand. Okay. Will you stop anyone else from killing me?
I could make myself useful to you if that's what you're asking.
I have a feeling there's going to be some entities that don't want me to do this, and
You reckon right, sir. You reckon right. I have to say, Grandmama, and he gestures to the door that you were standing in front of, heading out towards. You'd better consider yourself lucky you didn't go out that door, son.
okay. If you can help me, I'll help you. We have a deal.
And he extends his hand towards you, and it is covered in blood.
Shiat will shake it.
You feel kind of like as you take his hand, there's a moment where it grips, like he grips very hard. It's a very firm, menacing handshake. And you find yourself staring down at the butcher's cleaver. It's +1 to your attack roll, and it will do a d8 necrotic damage when you attack with it.
I don't like the sound of that.
It has the properties of a short axe. So if you want, I can try pull those up.
Yep.
And I can drop them into the hand axe, short axe. So you'll be rolling kind of a d6 and a d8 on your attack roll. So if you want to just add a hand axe to your inventory,
Yep.
And then just remember, if you attack with that, you get to add a d8 of necrotic damage. And Xander, as this is unfurling, there is a moment where again, you can see Julian Blackmore II, the grandson of the progenitor of the Blackmore family, sort of just as he wraps his fingers around Chuyette's, look over his shoulder very, very faintly in your direction. And he gives a curling smile as he evaporates into smoke and shadows and mist. And all that Chuyette is holding is the cleaver.
When he makes eye contact with me, I'll just wink at him as he coalesces into the cleaver.
Okay. Double back. Out you go. And the door directly opposite Chuyette, you want to go straight through it. And whatever Guinevere says, you just ignore.
Okay, let's do it.
You turn and you move past. What's your passive perception?
17.
You move past, like you kind of you double back on yourself, and as you make your way through the doorway, it is that feeling, and it's just a feeling of somebody watching you. You don't see anybody, you don't hear anybody, but just as you move back out into that kind of open plan balcony of on the second floor, you do get the sense somebody's watching you. This time, as you step out onto the hardwood floor of the balcony, kind of that run around upstairs, you don't see that scene unfurl. You don't hear anything. You don't see anybody. But again, the house feels smaller. And that door, you could almost, if it wasn't, a stupid thing to do, you could probably climb on top of the banister here and jump to the other side. But again, it is just a walk around, and you can see the door in front of you.
Yeah, he's gonna walk around and head for the door.
Declan,
Yep.
Can I ask a question? Xander has seen times when Chouette has got the keys.
Mhm.
Will I know sort of what pockets he's put them in? Because I'm thinking if I'm kind of aware where pockets in, as Chouette's kind of going through the door, am I able to try and swipe one?
He's been holding them, unless Chuyette, you want to have. I had kind of described that thing of holding them in his hand with sort of success,
my bad.
that like he has them
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
I can imagine that they are kind of still. This is all I need. So,
Grand sale.
and you again as you pass, you do see he's but he's holding them. Like you can see the whites of his knuckles.
Okay.
Like this isn't just like a gentle sort of. This is very much. He has exactly what he
Yeah.
needs.
I would need that cleaver to take his hand to get the keys. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You can swipe the cleaver. Are you turning to follow?
Yeah.
I need you to give me an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Natural 20. 26.
Okay. Chuyette, as you kind of make your way around, you can again you
I get a Cirque du Soleil performance.
No, you don't see it. I'm invisible.
you maneuver kind of through that open balcony. You can feel the house, you can feel the floorboards underneath you, and like I said, that holding of something, that tension. There is a moment where you actually watch the walls just push back, like you see the whole thing kind of drift past you, as if the house is trying to stretch itself. And then there is a cracking sound a couple of feet behind you, and where you'd been standing, where you'd come out of the kitchen out into this balcony, underneath your feet, Xander, it collapses. And not in a it falls, it collapses, and there is nothing beneath as you leap onto the wall, and then just kind of onto the doorway towards the library. Juliet, you open the door and you are assaulted by music. You can literally, the band are in full swing. You see people thrust against each other. You can see people drinking and laughing and chatting. People kind of gorging on food. Nobody turns to pay you any attention as the door slams shut behind you. Xander, the wall starts to crumble under your feet.
Okay. I'm going to try and quickly make to that door that
Okay.
Chouette has just gone through.
As this happens, okay. As you kind of describe to me how you, like, rather than me painting this, how are you going to maneuver? We're still, I'm not going to make you roll acrobatics again, but from this position, you are, if there's 4 doors up here, you come out of the one kind of behind you, leaping kind of the doorway to your left. The door you need to go to is kind of up here. What's Xander doing at that point?
He's still like kind of on the walls, trying to, the quickest way, I guess, at this point, if I'm above one of the doors, is just kind of go round the wall to the next one and just try and get if the door is closed, to get the handle open and point for it instead of trying to get back onto the floor and running. He's just trying to take the shortest route right now. If things are starting to, if the walls are starting to crumble and the floor is more structurally sound, he'll maneuver onto that, but pretty much at the last minute to try and get the shortest distance to the door.
As you sort of leap across, like from the wall to the banister back onto the wall, and you make your way towards that door in that very kind of, it's a blinding movement. You reach for the handle, and where your left hand is sort of clinging to the wall, and you can feel the plaster and the paper, and you can feel the wood beneath cracking, and you can feel it feels loose. It feels like you're standing on gravel that's being pulled apart or shifting earth. You reach for the door, and there is a no, and a candelabra on the wall. The iron twists itself outwards and wraps itself around your hand. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, strength's my dumb stat.
Still some money.
Okay, 16 minus 1, 15.
One moment.
Oh no.
Yeah, you needed a 16.
I need a 16? Shit!
You needed a 16, sorry.
Ah!
I have various different sort of like obstacles. But again, you reach for the handle and you kind of press against the door and you feel your hand pulled. All the while, around you, this room is collapsing in on itself, and you can just see large pieces are just falling into the dark below. And you start to hear what sounds like a splashing sound beneath you.
I look down. I can't see anything.
Can't see anything.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Shit. You find yourself kind of in the ballroom. Again, the house seems to have relented or relaxed or released whatever it was building up to. It seems to have done. And as the door slams behind you, the room goes silent. And everybody in unison turns to face you. In some cases, people twist their necks the whole way around.
Nope.
Lovely.
Don't like that. He's just like, yeah, his heartbeat is racing at this point, but he just knows he needs to get through this. So he's just going to look at his shoes, close his eyes, and just keep going.
Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry, just a bit of water went down the wrong way.
Oh no.
Um, as you do this, as you kind of look down, it does feel like 100 pairs of eyes are watching you. And as you maneuver through the crowd, you start to hear whispering. Like you can hear murmurs of people talking. That's him. That's him. It's. Are you sure? Is he the one? What? Somebody fetch Guinevere. Somebody fetch her. Fetch her now. And as you sort of move through, the whispering starts to get louder. And then there's a hush that falls over the ballroom. And you can just hear hard wooden heels clacking against a hardwood floor, just reverberating around the room. Hey, up, lad. It looks like you're not getting out of this without a dance. And you just see, as you continue to look downwards, you can see the trail of a well-made dress. Very, very simple in terms of kind of embroidery, all the while still looking incredibly well made. Like the finest of cloth has been used to make this thing. Very, very. It's beautiful without being ornate. It looks delicate without looking like it'll fall to pieces. It's. If this was anywhere else at any other time, you might have actually marveled at the expertise. While you've no passion for fashion, it doesn't betray something well made should be remarked upon. And you do hear a and a hand reaches under your chin.
And he lifts it up.
And you are staring into the face of a young woman. Looks to be kind of early to mid kind of 20s. Hair is pulled back and tidied up in a very, very neat kind of bun with a braid. And there is a tangle of hair that kind of seems to have come loose. And she looks a little flushed in the face. And there seems to be a bit of like dew or sweat kind of on her as she's obviously been dancing. And she smiles at you.
Can I help you?
I've seen you here before, have I not?
Yeah, I've been around.
And yet, your name is not on my dance card.
I'm not much of a dancer.
Nor am I, but it's never stopped me from trying. I'm Guinevere Blackmore. You are?
Unimportant.
I disagree. When a interesting gentleman appears at one of these gatherings, I always make it a matter of my business to introduce myself and learn who he is.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, but I am just leaving.
We've not met until you've told me your name.
My name is Shuyet.
And before we leave each other's company and she looks off into the distance, and you see her sort of staring out these tall French kind of style, paneled arched windows up out into the sky. While you might part from this dance early, you surely wouldn't leave without one quick dance around the room.
I'm afraid I have to go.
What is it that concerns you at such a late hour?
It's a work crisis.
I see. It sounds quite important. It sounds quite stressful.
Nothing I can't handle.
Of course. The destruction and the diminishment of hundreds of souls at your hands is nothing someone like you would wince at, is it?
I have to go. And he's going to turn around to try to leave.
You go to kind of step
Yeah,
past.
like turn his back on her.
Okay.
And walk out. Try to
Kind of
leave
like in a
her.
different direction, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
When you do, she gives kind of a half a twirl, half a spin, but it's more violent. It's like something just grabs and pulls her, and she's now kind of again half in front of you. If you do this, you damn us.
If I don't, you're damned already.
But we get to, and everybody steps one step closer.
This isn't existing.
Who are you to tell us what we are or are not?
Who are you to stop me?
The victim of a curse.
How do I break the curse?
You are not capable.
Well, then I shouldn't matter. If I'm capable of damning you all, then I'm capable of saving you all.
Your ignorance is what makes you capable, Shuyet. Your greed is what makes you capable, Shuyet. Your hunger is what makes you damnable, Shuyet. And again, everybody in the ballroom takes one step in unison closer to you.
I would like to run.
Okay. Tell me exactly what you were doing.
I'm debating whether I want to wild shape and just fly really fast out of there, but I think he'll keep that in his back pocket and just try to run. So literally he's just his eye on the door. He knows he needs to go to, trying to ignore everything else. He's just going to run as fast as he can and see if he can make it.
Okay. Let me. Yeah, give me an athletics check.
Ooh, that's a -1. That's a 12 total.
Okay. No, you. Okay. Finally, I get to roll.
Oh no.
Okay. It's almost sort of that thing of like you. If I move to the left and then kind of push myself off to the right, trying to kind of get past her, Shuyet, as you kind of bulldoze your way towards the door, all the while the cleaver is kind of whispering in your mind to get out of here, as if you need to be told. You burst past her and you run for that door at the back of the ballroom that you had come out of, that you know leads towards the underground lake. And as you do, again, the music picks up and everybody begins to step in and out. And you watch as the room itself seems to pulse with the rhythm of this dance that they are doing. And a hand just reaches out towards you as you make your way to the door. And again, you are sweeping under couples who have linked arms and are sort of pulsing in and out and then doing a half a turn. You are just sort of ducking and weaving. And as you make your way towards that small, narrow little hallway into that, what is obviously some sort of a door that maybe servants are using to bring food in or out or whatever it might be, it was just like off the ballroom. A hand reaches for your shoulder, and you feel Eleanor cry out, and you just hear Guinevere whisper in your ear, "You're just as bad as them." And she spins you, and the whole room spins with it. And exactly, Master Shuyet, how did you come to these findings? And you're in one of the faculty lecture rooms in Mistian University. It's dark, it's empty. There's a handful of people and like lecturers, students set in some of the benches, looking down at you as you stand on this dais in front of a board, papers in front of you, and a rather large Aarakocra man. He looks a bit like a wren, brown and white kind of feathers speckled, very very white and grey around his eyes, but they are sharp. Where he looks old, his eyes are very very sharp, and they're kind of a glistening green. Well,
Do I know? Is this like a?
this is a memory. This
Okay.
is after a lifetime of research and work into the properties of arcane energy.
I've spent years on this. The research and the results of what I did are all written here. Have you read it?
And you see him sort of in one hand, kind of his feathers kind of glide through some of the pages. I perused it.
Well, I suggest you read it and then we can discuss it.
I asked you, on what basis have you built your studies on?
That's not a very simple question. It's multifaceted. I have many bases, and like I said, I've put a lot of time into my research on this. And if you want to read it, I'll be happy to discuss the different sections with you.
How
but
much of your work is based on your research and your feelings about the matter? And he kind of, as he says this, he stands up and he kind of, his chest puffs out and he turns and he's kind of saying it as much to the small gathering of people who've come to listen to your lecture as he is to you. And there is murmuring among the crowd.
About as much as any other researcher that I'm sure has delivered a paper.
Oh, and now you feel qualified to diminish the work of your colleagues, then. Sir, I put it to you that all of this, and he slaps your research paper, your copy of it, off the table in front of him, and it kind of falls to the floor, is poppycock and balderdash.
Well, hang on a second now. I'm not diminishing anyone else's work. I'm merely saying that my work is up to the same standard.
And therein lies the problem, Master Shuyet. You base your work on nothing concrete. You have no hard facts.
Well, actually, if you look at section 3, and I have a subsection, you can see the hard facts of where I've completed the tests, and you can see that what I have is true. And if you want to recreate
I'm
the steps
sure
of those tests,
you believe all of that, but all of us are far too concerned with real academics. I think
you're far too concerned with blowing up each other's asses, to be honest.
And there it is. What we have come to understand about you, Mr. Shuyet. I have been speaking to several members of your department, many of whom find you ignorant, ill-prepared for class, and some even dangerously afraid of you and the nonsense that you try to fill the heads of the very few students, mind you, who attend your lectures. Now, I have come here today, and I was hoping that we'd get into this after your little shadow puppet circus of a lecture, that I might be able to afford you some dignity and respect. But you've left me no real choice. Mr. Shriet, it is come to me and fallen on my shoulders to tell you you are no longer welcome at Mistian University as of today.
I thought this was
You're
a place of learning and discovery. I thought this was a place where we could think outside the box and drive academics forward. And now I see you're just recycling the same old shit year after year.
the lecture hall is empty.
The other lecturers gone.
There's nobody.
Are the papers still on the ground?
Yes, there.
He's gonna just start picking them up.
You, as you begin to gather the papers, the real memory surfaces. There wasn't anybody there that day. Nobody attended your presentation, short of Professor Flabsworth. And even then, that was only to inform you that your work and research with Minston University was to cease. Your place in the faculty forfeit, your lodgings, your research materials, your credentials, all gone. A life spent researching, struggling to understand the nature of the very thing that brings so many people here to this point in the world of Arcanum, to Mistian University. Magic, the arcane, the unknown, chaos and harmony. Take 2 psychic damage as the memory plays over again. Xander.
Hello.
Strength. Athletics, if you so wish. I don't know if that doesn't help or it's the same, but much of saying, I think, isn't it? Saving throw.
The same one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, no, I'm not proficient in strength saving throws. Okay, 19 minus 1, 18.
Okay. In this moment, you again, you reach for the door, and you are kind of straining against it, and the wall just 2 feet from you, a chunk of it falls away, a portrait going with it, and you hear it after a couple of seconds just hit something below. There is a wet splash, and the iron wraps itself tighter. You manage to slip out of it as you yank free from the candelabra. You pull down on the handle of the door. It resists you, but you press in, and you come spilling into the ballroom.
Cool. Still invisible. I imagine I make a noise, but
at this point, yes. And again, everybody kind of, you hear the band playing. On hearing the kind of the sound of you kind of falling into the room, people do turn. A few people are kind of knocked out of the way, but no one falls over or anything like that. But people do kind of turn to see what's happened, but nobody pays attention.
Okay, perfect. Do I see Chouette?
He's a little further beyond. He seems to be talking to Guinevere Blackmore.
Okay. Right. Is this room full of people?
It is.
Okay. I'm trying to get through with as little resistance as possible. So again, I feel like that is the upper walls and the ceiling. So Xander, being a one-trick pony here, is just going to try and push his way to the closest wall and get up there. I'm just trying to listen into what Chouette's saying, and he's trying to also remember like the layout of the house, like what comes next, to try and like in his head work out the best path to take. Even if he could like get to where he knows Chouette needs to go before he gets there, he's will try.
What's your passive perception?
My passive, I don't think it's very good. My passive perception is 14.
Okay. It's enough.
Ooh.
You know, again, if you like, you've come in from a different, like, it's strange. Like, as you kind of stumble through the door, Xander, it's a door that kind of leads outside. Like as you look back over your shoulder, it is a French door. Like you can, and you can see kind of a garden beyond it. You can even see people outside, drinking and kind of smoking. And again, it's that thing of the house doesn't make sense. The house shifts and moves. And as you kind of look up and down, you recognize kind of the layout of the ballroom from when you'd been in there earlier. If you go to your right and you head up the doorway that you can see at the end of the ballroom, again, it doesn't make any sense, but that led to the master bedroom. If you go to your left and further down along, and on the wall opposite you, there is a small doorway. Kind of, it's a narrow hallway. There was a door there. That is the door that, if you make your way towards, that leads to the underground lake. And that's the door that Chouette is standing, or he's standing kind of adjacent to that corridor.
Okay. I'm going to try and position myself then at that door just to avoid the situation that happened last time, that it closes on me. That I'm positioned at it so that if he goes to open it, I can try and slip in.
Okay. So you want to, as you kind of place a hand on the wall behind you, there's a brief moment where you can kind of feel a kind of electricity. Like it's very, very strange. There's something happening to the house. There's something changing in this space. And as you put a hand on it, you actually feel the wall shudder at your touch. It seems to recoil from you as you clamber up along, and you maneuver up to the ceiling, and then you can just see energy coalescing at different points on the roof. Like the chandeliers are kind of glowing that little bit brighter, like there's power being funneled into them. And you can see glyphs all along the ceiling, all along the floors, and now tracing all along the floor.
Oh god.
There
Okay.
are wards in place that seem to just been drawn here. You have detected them based on your passive perception, but you have not done anything to diminish them. You need to clear 2 in order to make it to the door.
Okay. So these wards are preventing me from getting to there?
If you imagine them kind of like glowing sort of symbols on the roof. There's one near the chandelier, which is kind of where you're kind of clambering up to, and then there's another just sort of kind of, let's say, at the edge of that doorway, kind of leading towards that edge of that corridor, leading towards the doorway where Chouette and Guinevere are.
Okay. I have to clear 2 of them. So as in like disrupting the runes? Okay. Let me see what I have. I don't really want to break my visibility right now. Would trying to score out the like if I cast a spell or if I make an attack, it drops my invisibility. If using my dagger to try and like score through and disrupt the rune, does that count as an attack?
You give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Arcana plus 0. 14.
Meets it, beats it. There's a moment kind of, Xander, as you are sort of trying to figure this out, like what's the best way to do this. You kind of remember that, like in symbols, in glyphs and wards, the whole thing needs to remain intact for the magic to be kind of contained. So simply by scratching through some of the wood, by breaking sort of the lines here, by breaking these sigils, you could potentially you could interrupt the magic flowing into this ward.
Okay. I will try and do that. Or can I even, like, if I lit a cigarette and, like, pressed it into the ward, would it be enough to disrupt it?
Like to smudge it almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and anything basically.
Yeah.
Like you've for this first one, you've enough sort of a kind of an idea of what to do here with this one. Like
Okay.
you
Yeah.
can clearly make out kind of, okay, as long as I don't get too far past this point, I'm going to be okay. Like if I
Yeah.
touch some of these outer sigils,
Mhm.
you'll be fine. So yeah,
Cool.
if you're using the cigarette, like it is that case of like lighting the cigarette, and again, there is a moment where you do hear kind of people kind of are murmuring that like how distasteful, how rude, how obnoxious it is, and people are looking for the origin of the smoke as you take the little stick and you press it into the runes and you again smudge it.
He'll take a drag of it first. He's not wasting it.
Okay. If they're expensive, but you do, yeah. You've managed to kind of interrupt the flow of arcane energy to this ward as you move, if you want to move along the floor, or sorry, the ceiling, towards that corner where Guinevere and Juliet are. As you draw closer, what you thought was they were obviously in conversation, they were saying something to each other. Here, you can see that Guinevere has her hands on Juliet's temple, but her fingers seem to be pressed into his mind. They seem to be kind of phased through his skull almost.
Okay. Interesting.
You still have the ward to deal
I
with.
do have the ward to deal with. Right. I am going to just try and score through it with my knife.
An Arcana check, please.
What's that? 16.
Okay. Yep, it'll happen. It just happens.
Sorry. Yes, yeah.
Because if you make an attack roll, your invisibility drops. So again, if it's that thing of just sort of like scratching at and this time it's kind of more towards the plaster rather than the wood itself where you're trying to smudge it. You're kind of scraping into it and just slowly, just like with the edge of your knife, just sort of dragging into it. You do see it, like pieces of it sort of fall, like part of the plaster from the ceiling kind of falls, without craning like too hard. You do see Guinevere kind of look at you, and then her eyes kind of fix on Juliet.
Okay.
And the ward vanishes.
Okay. I will make my way around, so I'm standing behind
Juliet. Okay. Juliet, the memory of the lecture continues to play. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
23.
Yeah, that's enough.
I have a +7 on wisdom saving.
It's so good.
Again, it being the third time now, it's so this is ludicrous. This is preposterous. It didn't matter then. It doesn't matter now. And you you feel this intense pressure kind of under your skin and behind your eyes, and just sort of almost pressing into your brain. And then you can hear that awful warbling of music, and you can smell cigarette smoke, and you can smell sweat, and you can hear people laughing. And then you just see Guinevere in front of you as she stumbles back, and her gaze fixes on you. All of it will be worth it, will it? I've seen why you are doing this.
So you understand.
I understand how foolish you are. I have nothing more to say to you. There's nothing more I can do to stop you. Go.
He goes.
Beware, Eleanor. And a scream rips through the entire Blackmoor house as she says the name, and the walls shudder and glass cracks. And you feel just this cold emptiness as everybody in the ballroom vanishes. And you feel a presence, a immense energy moving through the house. Shriet.
He's gonna run.
The door.
Mm-hmm.
Xander, you see and hear all of this. You see Guinevere just vanish. You feel the change in the house. You see the kind of just this darkness just permeate every area. You hear that blood curdling scream, and then you see Shuet turn and run after himself, and Guinevere have exchanged words. And he turns for the door.
Okay. I will quickly try and get out the door as well. I don't like what's coming. I don't want to get wrapped up in it.
You're heading out the door behind you?
Yeah, the one towards the lake.
Are you going first, or is Shuet, or what's the, because you see him moving down the corridor where you are standing?
I'm gonna just open the door for him.
Okay.
So
he'll just see just the door as he's like running towards it, just open.
Well, you're not invisible anymore, are you?
Still very much invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, Shuet, you make your way down that kind of narrow corridor.
Can I hold an action, Declan?
Yeah.
No.
Well, technically we're not in combat, but what are you? What is the intent?
The intent is like I'm trying to stop him. Like he's getting through this door. I want him to have the beeline for it, but as he passes me, I kind of just want to like say in his ear, like, my salvation relies on your failure. I will not be damned anymore, and I want to just get him with my short sword.
Okay. I won't even make that. Not even kind of holding an action because that's booking for that door.
Yeah.
But you can make an attack roll at advantage, and we are coming back to that after a break. So we're going to take a quick 5-10 minute break. We'll be back at past, or just a little bit before it. So this be a perfect chance to grab a drink, bio break, whatever it might be. We're going to be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, we'll see you then. And we're back. We're back. I pressed the button and we're back.
You did
I,
it.
You did it. Good job.
I did after a lot of struggling out to find out where we were at. Emma, could you scoot over a little to your... There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Welcome back. If you're joining us after our break, we left with Xander about to make a surprise attack on Shuyet. If you're just joining us, Xander's about to make a seriously advantaged surprise attack on Shuyet. So, roll to attack.
I shall. What is this? +6. Okay. I rolled a 6 + 6 is 12, but advantage 18 + 6 24.
24 is going to hit. Then no, it doesn't.
No. I'm just not happy about it.
I was like, damn! Wow, I'm snickered. My AC is not that.
Damage.
Okay, so that is 1d6 normally.
No, continue the roll.
Yeah.
And then there's something I want to clarify really quick. So yeah, continue this roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
1d6, 2d6, then a second d6 from the necrotic damage my short sword knife does, and then 3d6 sneak attack damage. Because I had advantage on the roll. +3. Okay. Oh, some of those are bad, some of them are good. 4, 8, 12, 15 +3, 18.
Okay. And how much of that was necrotic, just in case she has any sort of resistance to necrotic?
3.
Okay.
Do
I
I?
don't
think so.
No, if you don't, if you see it under resistances.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Okay. Before I dive into, or before we continue this scene, I'm going to ask if PvP continues, because this is what we did with Grayson 2 weeks ago. From this point on, I'd like the rolls to happen on D&D Beyond, just for transparency's sake, and just so there's no people in chat don't start giving out or anything like that. It can be so that it can all be tracked then.
Absolutely.
I never really use the digital dice. I prefer to roll physical dice, but in PvP we always want to keep it above board. So there's no sense of, well, such and such. No, we're not doing that.
I've had mine there all session in case you have any questions. Yeah.
Advantage for that there.
Yeah.
What make me look bad, Emma? What the heck?
Long rest.
So if you give me 2 seconds, I'm going to open up the campaign as well, so I can keep an eye on the log as it's coming through.
Yep.
And I think Xander, what was it that you had said to?
I just want to as I stick the sword through him, I just want to whisper in his ear as I coalesce into view. It's like, Shwet, my salvation depends on your failure. I cannot remain damned. I'm sorry.
And in that, you feel a blade just press into your back, Shuyet, as you stumble through the door and over those wet stone steps that lead down into the underground lake and the stony plateau below. You stumble and turn, and you see Xander standing there, a short sword in their hand, just staring at you. It's covered in blood.
He's what? Why? Why did you do that?
You can end this here, Shwet. This has to go. It doesn't have to go any further. I don't want to hurt you.
If I don't do this, then I am damned.
I think we're all kind of damned here anyway, Shwet.
Exactly. So why would we keep things the same as we are?
Because I can't stay the same as I am, Shwet.
Why not?
You don't understand, and I don't want you to understand. I don't want you to know, because I cannot let it happen again.
What? So you just stab people instead?
No. Consider it a warning, please.
A warning? You could have killed me.
I know, and I'm hoping it doesn't have to come to that. All I ask is don't go any further with the keys.
So
Just-
you're willing to kill anything in your way to get what? So you can be free?
Not anything in my way, Chouette. At most, to be free, you're the last person I would need to kill. and then I'd be no risk anymore to anyone else. No one else.
So what? You're willing to kill as many people as you can so you don't kill anymore? That makes no sense.
No. I just mean it would be very hard for me to not. It's getting more difficult to resist.
Well, how about if you die, then you're at no risk to anyone else, right?
Trust me, I've tried.
Do you want me to try?
Not particularly.
Shit, as you stare at him, you can feel the cleaver trembling. He stinks of blood. And I recognize that.
What?
He's a monster, shit. They thought I was bloodthirsty. I've got nothing on that lad.
Seems like you have less of a soul than you lead on.
Me?
Yeah.
Maybe unfortunately so. So, not by choice.
How many people have you killed?
One.
He's a liar.
I don't believe that.
You can believe what you want. But if you stop now, it doesn't need to be any more. I'd rather have it that way.
So either I give up my life or you give up yours. For what?
For me to undo some wrongs. To help people that suffered at my hands that shouldn't have.
They probably don't want your help.
No, maybe not. I haven't earned it. But how many more are you hurting by doing this? You don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Everyone in this place is fucked anyway.
Yeah, but you don't know how it's going to affect everyone else outside of this place. Do you even know that you're going to get out?
I don't really care if I do.
Then what's the point in trying at all?
You have to get out. Shit, that's the whole part of this deal. This place is falling down around us here, lad, and I'm not sticking around. So make with whatever it is you have to do to get rid of this shit stain. Hand over the keys, and let's get the fuck out of here.
So what do we do?
You're asking me?
Mhm.
Hand over the keys.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, then you'll bleed.
I'm bleeding already.
You have more blood to spill. And as Xander's like standing there, like the kind of like the scent of the blood on his sword, and like just the way the blood is kind of like with each beat of Chouette's heart kind of gushing, it's a little bit more out of the wound. Xander can feel like the that hunger, that burn, like deep in the pit of his stomach, just start to rise. And as much as he, since it happened, has tried to fight it, he can just feel it like bubble up. And it's at this point, he feels like he needs to lean into it despite his better judgment. And as he has been stalking Chouette through the house like a predator, his pupils dilate as he focuses on what he's now seeing as prey. And his incisors like elongate, and he steadies himself.
I fucking told you, didn't I?
What is that? He's talking to the blade.
I'm just gonna give him a straight roll of a d20. We'll see what he. Julian Blackmore is not an intelligent member of the Blackmore family. Julian Blackmore the second. His grandfather was smart. Fuck it. He knows what it is. He's probably read about it. That, my lad, is a genuine bloodsucker.
Can I do a roll to see if Shuyet knows what that is?
You can give me a nature check at advantage.
All right. First one is 22, so. And the second one is 9.
If it's a bloodsucker, it's most likely a vampire of sorts.
Okay. At this point, he's going to cast.
I'm going to, if we're doing casting and I think showing of fangs, I will. If you're casting something, we're going to go into initiative.
Okay.
Okay, so let's roll for initiative, and we can.
Good news, it's 5.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. 17.
Okay. So we're going to say the kind of in this moment, and again, it's just hanging in the air. But if this was sort of a quick draw thing that's about to happen,
yeah.
Xander, what are you doing?
I would maybe. How far away is Shuyet from me?
You're only kind of about 15 feet from each other. If you were standing in the doorway, kind of looking down, Shuyet's at the bottom of those stairs, looking up at you. And it's only about 4 or 5 stone steps. You can hear the lake behind you, or sorry, in front of you, as you're looking. The lake is behind Shuyet.
Okay. I would like to run up to him, the 15 feet, and again just drag my short sword across him.
Okay.
I'm actually going to use my bonus action for steady aim to give myself advantage on the attack.
Okay.
As I run up to him to stab him as I run past. Oh, I picked up my dice instinctually. Ah. Okay. 19.
A 19 to hit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A 19 is going to hit. You can make the damage roll?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do something very quickly?
Yeah.
It's a reaction.
Yeah.
So every time I have a long rest, I just need to roll a d6 for odds or evens, and then I can. So that's even. So yeah, no, I don't want to add to your damage yet. No, continue on. As you.
Okay. So this the normal damage is 8 plus sneak attack, which is on a different section, which is not confusing at all. 8 plus my sneak attack damage was 15. Rolled 3 5s, so 8 plus 15 is 23.
Okay.
And the d6 from the necrotic damage is separate.
Okay.
I don't have a dice for that.
You can just throw a d6 on the little dice thing on the bottom left of the screen.
Oh yes, there we go. Another 3. So.
Okay. Shuyet.
How much damage is that?
28.
28.
Yeah, I'm done.
In this moment, as you kind of as you feel kind of magic welling up around you, you can hear the voice of the cleaver just sort of screaming at the back of your mind. And as you draw the magic up and you look upwards, it's already on top of you. Xander, whatever it is, it doesn't look like him anymore. It looks wild, feral, monstrous, and it brings the blade down across you, and you feel it, and you can feel him press against you as he does, and you can feel the blood pouring down your chest, just gushing. And Xander, from here, you can just see the complete and total terror in Shuyet's eyes. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. As Shuyet falls backwards onto the wet stones as the lake kind of just laps around you.
11.
You feel you feel this ravenous gnaw in your gut. This complete empty, gnarling pain in your belly. It's more than hunger. It's voracious. It feels like it's eating you from the inside out, and you can feel traces of warmth around your face, and you can smell it, the specks of it that have landed on you, that stain your clothes, that drip down the edge of your blade, and you just lick Shuyet's blood from the sword. And there is just a warmth that gushes through you. Does he taste as sweet as me, Xander? My love.
Nothing would taste as sweet as you, my love.
You made a promise. You swore, didn't you? You swore as you drank me dry, as you feasted on me. My love, never again.
I know.
This will be my undoing.
It has been.
And you've done it again. You've broken another promise, Xander.
It's to save me. It's to save you.
You can't save me, Xander. I'm already dead.
I know.
I'm already rotting in the ground.
I'm so sorry.
Her voice just reverberates around the underground lake. It's lost under the sounds of water splashing. And you can hear footsteps just sort of wading through it. Long, slow, heavy steps. Shuyet, make a death saving throw, please. And as you watch Shuyet bleeding out on the stone in front of you. His water just seeping into the lake. Based on Emma's reaction, I'm going to have to very, very quickly. Yep, no, that's fine. That's a 4. You can feel his pulse. It's growing weaker, and that shadow looms closer. Very well done, Xander Vernicier. You've set out your half of the bargain. You've accomplished it quite well, though the scholar still lives. And the shadow drops low, and it seems to score across the water like sheets of just darkness drifting. And then they coalesce in front of you, falling apart in places. You see the withered form of the Grey Lady, the veil pasted against her withering skin. Her eyes, her face, the visage just obfuscated by a mesh of rotting fabric. And you can see her mouth coil into a smile.
He kind of like bares his teeth at her a bit, and as he's kind of like crouched like over Chouette, he just kind of like growls at her. It's like, my side of the bargain was to stop him, not to kill him. Consider him stopped.
I do detect a beating heart. And last I checked, that still meant life. What's to stop the scholar getting up and handing the keys over? Make it permanent. Make sure he can't deliver what was promised.
Is this not enough? And I'll like take the keys from like Chouette's like limp hand.
Make a death saving throw, Chouette.
15.
When you snatch for the keys, Xander, Chouette actually reaches for you, limply, almost pleadingly, like there's life still there, and the fingers clasp at you, and then nothing as you wrench the keys from him.
There's like a trickle of blood that kind of just leaks from Xander's eye. You didn't say kill.
I didn't. No.
Am I not meant to take you at your word?
I am nothing without my word, Xander Vernicier.
So then the job should be done.
Remind me your half of the bargain.
Half of the bargain. To stop Chouette. I've stopped him. Remind me of yours.
Oh, yes. You wish to quell the monster inside you, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
To do away with what you are. And she holds up her hands, and they peel away from the rotting gown that's affixed to her. And just, you see kind of the blackish blue tinge in her skin, her fingers elongated, gnarling up towards your face as she kind of goes to take you into her hands.
He tries to resist that.
I merely seek to seal the deal.
So what is it? You're going by what you originally said, or you're changing it?
I am my word. I'll remove the monster within.
He narrows his eyes and looks down at Chouette and thinks that, like, if she does this now and Chouette pulls through, he's probably not making it out of here. And knowing that she is so manipulative, as he salivates and it kind of drips into the open wound on Chouette's body, he kind of cranes his neck, like pushes his head back, and bites into it.
Now, above the table, do you have the ability to do this? To make a mini Sanderpire?
Oh, no. I was just going to use my bite attack.
Oh, to eat him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Unless she was like really taking me at my word, and I understand that she was just going to actually seal her deal, but he's
oh no, she's 100. Like, so again, if we stay above the table, so as a character, the Grey Lady is nothing but her word.
Okay.
So the deal was you stop Chouette, you stop him from getting to the vault and opening it. She would remove your curse. She would save you from that monster within you.
Yeah.
That's what she's about to do. I was just being really spooky about it.
Fair. my own misinterpretation. And
no.
Chess.
Nope. She's literally doing what she said she was going to do.
Okay. So yeah. He then is hesitant, but then goes ahead.
She, like, as you wince or kind of go to move away from her, her hands are already clasped around your face, Xander. And she leans in, and you can feel her hands are like ice, but there is a sickly warm, sweet scent of her breath. And you know it. It's that sickly sweet smell of decay. And her head turns, and her lips part ever so slightly, and she presses them against yours. And I need you to make a death saving throw.
Ooh. So that's just a D20. 11.
You feel all of you just torn. Like, it's as if somebody dug under your skin, under your muscles and nerves, and grabbed your bones, and then went deeper still into the very sense of yourself. And you just feel it all drawn out of you, and you feel your whole body go limp as this is just drained out of you. The world goes dark and spins, and you felt this way once before. You felt this way on the brink and on the verge of death, when that last drop was almost drained from you. And then your heart beats again. You find your feet a little shaky, a little uncertain, but a stillness comes over you.
He sits back and moves himself off of Chouette. And is the grey lady still there?
She's moving away.
That's it.
You wanted something else?
No. I just didn't think the likes of you would leave people alone.
You're a sharp one. We could have done great things together, Vernicier.
I'm very good at my job.
We'll see. And she holds a hand out, and you just see blood dripping from her. As she vanishes, the blood starts to take shape and form. And 30 feet from you, you see you made entirely of blood.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I need a death saving throw, please.
All right, here we go. 15.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, initiative, I guess, for Xander versus Xander, Blood Xander.
Yeah. Okay. Oh geez. Right. Xander.
I have your sheet open in front of me, so I'm going to be rolling off of the exact same.
Fantastic. Xander looks at this thing and takes a deep breath of air into his lungs. Oh dear. I rolled a 10.
18. Now, because this is not is it PvP? It's not, because it's not the player versus player. This is DM versus player, usual malarkey. But I am using your stats. I am rolling off of your sheet. You literally see again. It takes out his short bow, and he takes a shot.
Okay.
For this exact reason. Sorry, my D20 has gone to the other side of my desk. 2 seconds.
Oh no. Well, this was unexpected.
Call back to Emma earlier on. Mystery Dice Goblin brought out silicone dice, and I have a set. They're adorable, but they bounce. If you don't roll them in a dice tray, they go everywhere. That is a 24 to hit Xander.
Yeah, that hits.
And that is.
Yep. Would like to use Uncanny Dodge.
Yep. 9 damage halved is, we round up, so 5.
Okay.
And then bonus action. I could have taken steady aim. He's just going to, after the second he shoots, then he releases the arrow, and it's just blood. He rushes straight towards you.
Okay.
He's not taking any of the moves. He's just using his full movement to get towards you. So he's in your space. Yeah.
He's in my space.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I better steady aim. Yeah, I'm going to steady aim and with my short sword slash at him. Oh, I keep picking up my dice. Ah.
No, you can use your dice. We're not using that. You can.
Oh.
You don't have to use D&D Beyond.
Okay. Oh, geez, not great. Oh, it's my own DC. Okay, so it's a 16 was the highest.
Yeah.
10 plus 6. That beats my own AC. Oh, fantastic. So that's 5d6 plus 3. This purple dice is the necrotic damage dice. Necrotic damage 5.
Okay.
And the others is not great. 1, 2, so that's 3 plus 3, 6 plus 6, 12. 12, so 17 total. 5 necrotic.
Yeah, it like the second it is you in all of your likeness, just made entirely of blood that moves and swirls around you. Like it pumps and pulses as if it was coursing through veins and arteries in front of you. You see the elongated fangs as you plunge your rapier into it, and it connects. But where you cut, you see the body heal almost instantly. Your bonus action, you're done.
Yes.
Okay.
Does it heal? Because does it need to be magical damage?
Nope.
No.
It just yep.
Okay, interesting.
I
I wish my own flesh wounds did that.
Again, so it's steady aim bonus action to give itself advantage. That's a 6 or a nat 20, so it's going to take the nat 20.
No.
And then
I'm gonna kill myself.
So it does 6 damage already because of the nat 20.
Yep.
So I'm just going to throw the d6 on the D&D Beyond if that's okay, just because I don't have that many dice in front of me. So 9 for the sneak attack, plus 6 is 15 so far, plus another 6 is 21, plus 3 is 24 damage. And then it does a d6 necrotic as well.
Yep.
And that's 5.
Okay.
So that's 31 damage in total.
Okay.
It is your action as it just, again, almost mirroring your reflexes and your actions. It just brings its blood rapier straight down towards you, slashing and hacking and jabbing. Shiet, death saving throw, please.
Sure thing. What could possibly go? Oh, that could go wrong. Yeah. That was a 2.
Okay. So we've 2 successes and 2 failures.
Exactly that. Yep.
Okay.
I'm doing them on D&D Beyond. So
okay. Xander, your action.
Okay. I'm not looking good. I love my one way to heal myself. I don't think I have anymore, so that's great. Shit. I'm gonna bonus action. Ooh.
In this moment, as you feel weak, Xander, in a way that you've not felt like this in a long time. You've not felt this frightened in a long time, that this was something isn't right here. This is what it feels like to be close to death again. There is something normal about that. Hey, Lelion Cosplay, thanks so much for the raid. We're in a apologies. It's a bit of a graphic scene that you're coming into. So if you don't like blood and vampires and that stuff, apologies. But we have a former vampire fighting its own bloody self. It's a dramatic thing. It's very dramatic. But you feel this this fear inside you just kind of pulse. And as you steady yourself, you just hear a voice in the back of your mind. Give me the keys, and I will save you.
Do I recognize the voice? You've
heard it here before. Don't quite know it, but you hear it. I tell a lie. You've heard this voice and you've seen where it comes from. Okay. You've heard this voice in the master bedroom. You heard this voice
Mm.
screaming at Eleanor Blackmore. You heard this voice explaining why he was doing what he was doing. Julian Blackmore, the founder of the Blackmore estate. But the voice sounds not entirely human. It speaks with a rasp, but there's more to it than just that. There's like an echo of it.
And how do you plan to do that?
Because I can do things that you can't. Die on your feet, boy, or live to fight another day. And I need your decision.
Okay. I'm going to. Oh. I'll give him the keys. I'll throw them at his feet.
Oh, sorry, that voice you were hearing, there was nobody in front of you. That
Oh,
wasn't
no.
that wasn't the
Oh,
blood version.
okay.
That was a voice at the back of your mind,
Yeah.
telepathically communicated to you. Sorry. Shiet, can I have a death saving throw, please?
Yep, here we go. Not 20! You can see it on the beyond.
I love it. That is absolutely brilliant. In this moment, you lying there in the water, you can hear that absolutely puffed up, ridiculous, self-inflated ego of Professor Flabsworth, the Aarakocra, just almost goading you. And there is a rage. And you are hanging on to that. You are hanging on to that fire. That is what has kept you going every day since your expulsion from the university. That is what has made you continue to pursue what you believe in the face of every part of yourself being called into question, in the face of being mocked and discredited, exiled from academic communities. You have fought tooth and nail to get to this point, and your eyes blink open and you can see Xander, that bastard, just he's struggling against something. There's something, and you can smell blood, and you can feel the lake water lapping against you, and you can feel ripples through it, as if something is moving, something vast, something large that seems to sort of turn the tide of the lake itself, that in its movements any sort of natural flow to the lake is disrupted, and there are these swelling ripples that seem to roll towards you, and you just hear a voice in the back of your mind. Close, so close, my friend, and I share in your shame. But we will succeed. And you just, as you feel a strength course through you, you just see in an instant something fly overhead, and there's a splashing sound. And as quick and as fast as that happens, you see tentacles rise out of the water, and they wrap themselves around Bloodxander, and it is torn to pieces. And the underground cave begins to shake violently as you regain consciousness. Take a short rest.
Thank you.
Xander, you watch as the blood is just again entwined in these black tentacles and then torn in 6 different directions. And then the tentacles retract back into the water. The underground lake begins to vibrate.
Do I see Chouette move?
You see him struggling, yeah. Like coughing and scrambling to trying to get up.
Will run over to him and swallow my pride and put out a hand to him to try to help him up.
He's gonna slap it away.
It's over.
What's up?
Everything. We need to go.
No, I haven't gotten to the vault.
You don't have the keys.
What the fuck? What did you do with the keys?
It's
What
over.
was all this for?
Like I said, my salvation.
Oh, great.
And
so
honestly, I think yours as well.
we were just all along for the ride, were we?
No,
You got your salvation?
I didn't bring you here. You just happened to be there too.
A chunk of rock collapses from the ceiling and crashes into the water about 20 feet away from you. There's a heavy, wet splash and surge of water upwards.
We need to get outside. Now. And you can...
Where
I understand.
Where are the keys?
He has them.
Who?
I just kind of point to the lake. Blackmore.
And in that moment, as you part to the just the black water of the underground lake, Xander, the stone platform, the rock that the two of you are standing on, that you were bleeding on moments ago, cracks, and the water begins to part. And there are steps being ripped out of the ground as water just sort of gushes over the sides and is pulled back, and rocks continue to fall from overhead. The steps lead down into the dark, and you can hear footsteps descending them.
I don't think either of us are in fighting fit condition for it.
I have to go. I have to go down there.
What if you don't come back?
It's my only chance.
For what, really?
What have I lived for if I don't go down there?
Probably more than you think.
He's gonna start going down. In the process of doing so, can I also cast Cure Wounds on myself?
You can.
Okay, thanks.
Don't use a spell slot.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
As you shrug off Xander, the water is kind of continuing to pour like in. It's being repelled back, but you do see occasionally like just a slosh of it wails over the side and then splats against the hardened stone. As you start to descend these steps downwards, Shriet, and you feel this surge of energy fill you as you draw on magic. And you see the stones themselves almost glow. You can see lines in them. You can see patterns in them. And Xander, are you just watching him just descend into the dark?
For the meantime, I'm kind of like weighing up my options. Is there like stuff going on. Like, is this play? Would I be able to feasibly leave here without getting
You can-
crushed by a rock?
You can
Or-
go back up through the door that led to the ballroom. You do remember that ye swam under the water here, through an underwater tunnel that led to the dusty hallway. Your starting point into the house. This was the second place that you set foot in the Blackmore estate.
That's true. But we knew that when we'd come through the front doors into the house for the very first time and the doors closed behind us.
You woke up in a hallway with 4 doors off of it.
Yeah, the front door was gone. So I would kind of think that there is like no way out, like literally out of the house that way.
Okay. So you're just waiting to see.
I'll see like what happens to Chouette, and after a comfortable time, decide whether to go down or to
Figure out. Okay. As you are descending, Shia, you can hear the footsteps, and they're a good 40, 50 feet in front of you. Like, if you're listening out and trying to measure them, they're slow and heavy. It's been so long since I've seen the vault. So much has happened here. This place. I imagined it as my own living hell. A place that I would continue to exist when everything else had fallen away. I hoped one of the bastards I sired, one of the mongrels I allowed carry the family name, despite not having an ounce of my blood in their bodies, would be fit enough to retrieve the keys. But alas, one doesn't get to choose their own family. And you see a moment, Juliet, just the dark seems to shudder and hesitate. And then, Xander, there's a silence as you watch Juliet just step into the dark, and you're no longer visible to you from where you're watching.
Okay.
Juliet, as you continue towards the steps, you see something slither along the walls and down the steps, writhing. And then there is a black stone door in front of you. And standing there, you see an older gentleman. Late 50s, early 60s, haunched, gaunt. His face, the elements of it sort of sunken in an unnatural way. And he turns and he looks at you. Yes, it would take a mind just as brilliant as my own to achieve. And you see he has the 2 keys in his right hand. And he takes a third from around his neck. All of this. Your answer lies beyond. Master Juliet. Your proof. Your concrete evidence. And he holds the 3 keys out to you.
He apprehensively takes them.
And he gestures towards the door. And you see 3 recesses in it.
Yeah, I'll hold the keys up to the corresponding. I assume it's obvious which one goes where.
Again, yeah, because you have a key made of bone. You have an old kind of black iron key. And then there's the key that he hands to you. And that feels strangely warm. That doesn't feel... That doesn't feel natural. It feels unnatural.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put them in their corresponding positions.
Okay. You take the black iron key, and you see there is a like a tarnished, worn lock fit for the iron key, and you press it in, and it turns. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Good go. 15.
Your mind is flooded in this moment. And just as you feel yourself overcome, you feel something drift up along your torso, coiling. And then there's a beach, and you can see the tide is out and the water is black, blue, and grey, and it's overcast and it's bitingly cold, and you hear a woman's voice calling out, Julian, you've been out here for days, love. We have a gathering there. My family are here to see you. And your head turns and you see a beautiful half-elf woman in a long gown and a heavy coat. And you recognize her as the name parts your lips. Eleanor, I'm almost finished. I found her, my love. I found her. And the head turns back. And buried deep in this pit, your nails black with silt and sand and dirt, rough and cut and stinging with the salt. You see what looks at first, Shriet, like a gnarled tree stump. Like just a blackened log that's set buried under bog and sand. And as you lean into it, the figure turns and you see a blackened skull, gnarled and just grotesquely misshapen. All manner of roots and brambles sort of writhing off of it. Turn unnaturally. This is too much, Julian. I haven't seen you for weeks. And you're in a grand bedroom. Your head is pounding, and this woman will not cease with her interruptions. You can hear the screaming of 3 young girls, two petulant children and a babe. You brought her offspring. You gave her a distraction, and yet she seems hell-bent on interrupting your work, summoning you just when you're on the cusp of understanding what it is, who it is, and all that it needs of you. And something snaps. And there's a flash, and there's the kitchen, and a butcher's cleaver, the bedroom, and her back is turned. And she senses you, but it's too late. You're too quick. And then she is silent. She's silent, and that's all you needed her to be quiet. For Eleanor to be quiet. And you're standing in front of the door. 2 keys in your hand.
He's starting to have doubts. Let's try one more.
Wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Ooh.
That's a nat 20 on the first one, so 27 total, and 24 for the next one.
In that moment, as doubt sets in, and that's for you, Homebrew. You feel a hesitation, and it's almost as if you're brought back to your senses, Shuyet. That feeling you had on you just before the vision, and you see something has drawn itself across your body. Something has entangled itself, and it's wrapping itself around your chest and your shoulder, and it's crawling. Not writhing like a snake does, not sort of coiling, crawling, like millions of little legs up along your skin.
Mm.
And the key made of bone and blade nervously, hesitantly, you reach and you turn. And you see Julian, your reflection, a gnarled, twisted, barely human creature, bent over, skeleton curves in an unnatural way from years of being stooped over books, and scrolls, and papers. And there's something in the corner of the room. It moves, it drifts like curtains caught on a breeze. And it gets closer. And you feel it looking at you. Not at Julian, at you, Shuyet. And you see the spectral form of the Grey Lady, this gnarled corpse wrapped in rotting fabric, netting meshed into her skin, rotting embroidery clinging and falling apart in places, clumping like clots and falling off of her. Her limbs elongated and gnarled like twisting branches, the skin blackened by silt and bog. Like a piece of timber, drowned, buried, and lost. And her hand glides across your face, and it's cold, and it leaves a whisper of grime that never truly washes off. We have a deal, my sweet Julian. I will grant you eternal life, the means to live on, to continue your work as you see fit. And you will sustain me for as long as I require. Your blood in body and in name. The line is mine. All of them. And as she extends a hand, there isn't an ounce of hesitation as Julian wraps his fingers around hers. We have a deal. And she leans in and she kisses him on the side of the face. Work. I have things to do. And she vanishes. You can feel that limb, thin, wet and warm, just slithering across your face, Shuyet. And the third key is in your hand. All that you dreamed of. And we're going to end the session there.
My goodness.
Well, that was a thing. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us this evening. Thanks so much to La Lyon Cosplay for the raid. Thank you to everybody who joined us in chat. If you're watching this on VOD afterwards, thanks for watching. I'm Declan, and I've been your very creepy dungeon master this evening.
Yeah.
Look, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Correct.
You've earned it. You've earned it.
I'll own it. Look, I'll own it. I'll own it. I am so thankful and appreciative of Soph and Emma, not only for their time this evening, but for their amazing performances and their trust in me as a DM to play out games and scenes like these. So kudos to the both of you for a lot. We're going to be back in 2 weeks' time for. I mean, I thought this was the penultimate. I think we'll see how next. We'll just see what happens next week.
We'll just play forever.
We'll just play forever. But in the meantime, you can check out all the other D8 Dungeon shows this Thursday. It's TTRPG Trials. I was like, what's this Thursday? TTRPG Trials is this Thursday. And the gang are going to be giving their final thoughts and review officially of Goblin Errands, having done 2 playthrough sessions of it. They're all going to get together and talk about how they feel about the system and how it kind of works out. And there's a brand new episode of Romancing the Dungeon out this week, I think. Definitely, maybe. If not this week, next week. But definitely this week, definitely Friday. And we're back on Monday for Marked for Midnight, our other horror campaign. Not as creepy, I think. It's a different kind of horror. It's 80s slasher horror vibes. If that's your cup of tea, then we'll see you on Monday for that. In the meantime, come hang out on our Discord server. Some of the nicest, kindest, sweetest, funniest folks are there. And Homebrew is correct. There is an interview with the designer of Goblin Errands will be airing as part of that, which is class. So Ben got to have a chat with them about creating the system and all that went into it. We are very much in the midst of organizing our annual TTRPG marathon fundraiser, D8 Dungeon Drive. D8 Dungeon Drive dating my Hex this year, as we are partnering with Hexes and Vexes for a 48-hour marathon. Slightly longer than 48 hours, actually, technically, maybe. But over 48 hours of TTRPGs, all with the aim of raising funds for Project Hope, who are providing aid and support in regions like Gaza, Sudan, and the Ukraine, and around the world, wherever people are in need of aid and support. That weekend, we are trying to raise as much money as we can to support them and all that they are doing. So if you want to get involved and for more information, head on over to our Discord. We've just confirmed kind of the various game masters that are running sessions. So in the next 2 weeks, we will have a list of the times and the tables that are running. And if you want to get involved, the Discord servers are the first place you will find out. So do make sure you are over there for that. That's it from all of us. Thank you so much again.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night, and we're going to raid somebody, so don't jump off immediately. We're going to play the credits, and then we are going to raid a channel. So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.